And we are almost certainly not done with frost, especially in northern Iowa. That tends to end, or the last one tends to occur in early May. So this leads me into Jerry Holub, our plant and garden expert. And Jerry, a lot of people are wondering, they see this sort of forecast and they're like, what can we do right now?
Yes, there's a few things you can do now. I brought some plants along to show you. We have here broccoli and cauliflower. They can handle down to probably mid-20s and not damage them. So this, you can probably plant those here. We have cauliflower here and we got broccoli here, little plants. And you can probably plant them now with no problem at all.
In the ground?
In the ground, yes. Yes, in the ground. Now, if you want to eat tomatoes, I'm telling people to please hold off. It's a little bit early.
But it's going to be so nice.
I know it. You could probably put them in a pot, put them outside, but bring them back in if it looks like, watch your weather, which you're the most accurate, of course. Watch your weather. If it looks like frost, get it back inside or cover it up with something.
Sure.
Yes, that way too. Now, I've had several calls this week asking, these little bunnies and little critters are eating my plants off. I brought this along to show you. This is one of the best things to use here. The reason I like it is because it comes in a granular form. That means a little powder and little pellets. If you spray it on, this comes in a liquid form, spray it on, you get a heavy rain, it washes right off.
Oh, so then it becomes useless.
Useless then, right. Now on the front here I brought to show you today, these are perennials that we planted up in Ames. This is a columbine right here, this real pretty one right here.
That is very
We have the lilies. Now these you can put outside anytime, the perennials you can now.
Okay.
They're fine to put out.
So even if it gets cold, these are going to be all right?
They'll be fine. Now, if it gets really cold, it could knock some blooms off, but the plant will definitely survive.
Yeah.
We're late enough now, we're okay. And the ground is warming up now too, but you'll be fine. And when you do plant these, make sure anything you plant, don't plant it any deeper than it already is on perennials. Plant them the same levels what they are.
Okay.
Now, riding around in Des Moines, I've noticed a lot of perennial grasses. They're brown on the top, they're starting to green up. You need to cut them off just a couple inches above the ground. Then they'll come up nice and full. If you leave them too tall, the middle doesn't come up in them.
Okay.
Because there's not enough light coming in to get them to come up. So those need to be cut off right away. If you have any rose bushes, I've already pruned the dead off of mine. You always have a little bit of stuff that dies on rose over the winter. Just cut down to where you see the green and just cut right down into that. Get those pruned that way too. Any trees, because the winds we've had, be sure you cut off the broken limbs. Same thing, where you see it's broken, go down about an inch or so below and cut it off there. That way
so there's a lot of stuff that
Yes, and I see dandelions are coming up now too. You can actually treat those. Just be careful how you treat them, you know. Make sure you don't do it on a windy day. You can do those. I've seen them in several yards already. They aren't blooming yet, but they're definitely up now. Other weeds are.
Question for you. I know, and maybe grass is not always what we think about, but a lot of people are probably going to start thinking about doing their first, leg of yard work for the year. Is there any truth that you should let the grass grow a little bit first?
Yes, it's a little better to get it up a little ways. Now you can go rake it, and that'll help, get the roots growing and get things growing too. Use a rake and kind of pull out the dead stuff in it.
Okay, so maybe don't fire up the mower tomorrow.
No, next weekend I probably will. You're talking 80s, the grass can be ready to be mowed. And try to mow it fairly high the first time. Okay. Then you can mow it down lower. Because it's made it all through winter, and now it's just starting to come up.
Awesome advice, Jerry. Thank you so much. And a lot that you can be doing right now to get your yard, your garden, and all of your plants ready for what we all know will be an incredible stretch of spring and summer. You can get in touch with Jerry at the phone number there at the bottom of your screen.